The new team are well on their way to completing their training. Stuart Farrell from Selkirk is one of the chosen few, and understandably, his family and friends are rather chuffed.
Certainly my family are very proud. I'm proud of myself, to be honest with you. When you start to hear the figures of something like 2,200 applying, that sort of works out to over 1 in 200 chance of getting this job. So yeah, immensely proud.
Do you have any rail background at all?
None at all, no. I think all the trainees, to be honest, they've no railway experience. Some of them have had family in the past that have been in the railway, but certainly on my side there's not been anybody in the railway that I know of.
Did you believe that 2,000 plus would be applying and you'd be one of the 10?
I knew there would be a lot of people that applied for it because it was well publicised, but I never thought anywhere near the 2,000 mark. So to be one of the 10 out of 2,000 is a good achievement.
The intensive course has been a challenge to all the new drivers, and they're all very comfortable in the cab already. Stuart showed off his skills as he took a train down from Edinburgh to Dunbar, under the watchful eye of Russell Storey, driver team manager. David Campbell is the driver manager responsible for putting Stuart and the others through their paces. A former driver himself, he now gets immense satisfaction in his new role.
I'm very excited about what Transport Scotland, Network Rail, First ScotRail are going to achieve with delivering this project to the Borders line. I can see where it could go. The Bathgate line, when I was a young driver, was nothing more than a single line. Tweedbank's got a lot more than that, but nowadays the Bathgate Airdrie line it's got more trains on it than the Edinburgh to Glasgow Express line, and that's the vision I see for the Borders Railway. That's where I hope, in the next 25 years, if I can manage to stay in the railway long enough, that I'll be able to see that. I'll be able to know that I was part of that. I was there at the beginning, which it's extremely rewarding for me as a driver manager to be involved in all that, and then to see our young men who are going to be the train drivers, that everybody's now getting to know them, to see the excitement and to start off on their career again. That's extremely rewarding for myself, so I'm looking forward to it.
And as a former driver yourself, I guess you'd be itching to actually drive that line yourself, although your driving days are gone now.
Yeah, unfortunately my driving days are gone, and if the opportunity came that I could be the man at the front of that train, yes, I would. I would definitely be I'd be pushing them aside to get there myself. But as you say, my driving days are long gone now. It was the most wonderful part of my career. But now I can look upon all these new people, and I have experienced what they're feeling, and I can watch them enjoy it as well. It's great.
Former car mechanic Stuart Farrell is certainly having the time of his life right now. His wife is expecting a baby too, so things can't get much better. Although being at the controls of the very first train from Edinburgh to Tweedbank would certainly run it pretty close.
Yeah, I know the managers have got a job on their hands picking who gets the first drive down this route. But yeah, don't get me wrong, it doesn't matter if I'm first in line or 10th in line, it'll be a privilege when it happens. But to drive it, that would be the greatest pleasure to do that, and a great honour to drive the first train back over the line.
I met with BAM and Network Rail on 3 separate occasions. They are now, I believe, making really strenuous efforts to get this right. But it's right that we keep on top of them and make sure that any incidents are reported to them. But the council and the police are also on their case, and they are determined to keep the roads safe, and that must ultimately be the judgment that we make. I've always said it's not a choice between our major roads or the railway. We should have both. It took long enough to argue for this substantial investment in the railway. I'm still arguing as chair of the A7 Action Group for more investment in the A7 as well, and the A68, all our major roads. So we mustn't think that we can have one or the other and then ignore the roads. They've got to get investment as well. But I look around the country, and considering the size of the constituency I represent, 1,500 square miles, there isn't a single railway station in there. That's almost unique across the UK. I think that to be left out of the mainland rail system in the United Kingdom is unacceptable. Now, this is a small start, but I hope it will lead to getting the train back for all the folk of the borders.
We absolutely will see steam on the Borders Railway. The Scottish Government at the moment are working very hard with a number of charter companies to look at bringing charter trains, which means steam trains and specialist diesel trains, onto the line. That announcement was made when the First Minister came to Hawick recently. He was very keen to make sure that we had that type of train on the line, and I'm absolutely certain that there'll be steam trains on the line, and that will be a very popular thing for bringing many visitors to our region.
There's some old ballast and kind of earth that had built up over the years, but once we stripped that back, what we found was a pretty immaculate bridge. There's very little work that has to be done to it. You can see some of the guys working on the bridge at the moment doing some pointing and some masonry work, but otherwise this is a structure in great condition. It's not far off being able to run trains on it once again. It's the longest of the old bridges that we're using on the route. It's a fantastic structure, and we're pleased to reinstate it as part of the new Borders Railway, and right round the corner from one of the largest new structures on the route as well. So you've got an ancient railway structure and then a brand new one round the corner, and it's great to be it'll be great to be part of the route into Newton Grange, from Newton Grange into Edinburgh.
We've started work on the foundations, which for this bridge are piles which have been drilled into the ground. So we drill the cavity, we then fill the cavity with concrete and drop in a steel cage, and these foundations are 25 metres deep. And then from that solid foundation we'll then build up the bridge structure, the abutments, and then there'll be a column built within the centre of the roundabout, and then there'll be the deck will be lifted in on top of the bridge.